Welcome to another episode of Lifestyle After 5. We thank you
Yeah,
so much for joining us this Wednesday. It's me, your man Ali, along with Lord Shu, your favorite moderator and
yeah.
co-host. What's going on, Lord Shu?
What's going on? I know y'all never hear me for real, so
Everybody,
this
everybody
is
give a big shout
special
out to Lord
episode.
Shu.
Yeah,
Actually, we're gonna drop a bomb coming to us
yeah.
all
We
the
need
way from
some Jamaican
Germany.
club sirens,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. We're gonna give it all. This man get
Yeah.
up from Germany.
What's
He
up,
joined us
y'all?
from y'all don't realize he joined us from Germany every week from across the water. So that's dedication. So we really appreciate your dedication.
Hey,
So
man, it's
today,
all love, man. Always.
so today, we are Lifestyle After 5, and a lot of people always ask, especially when they see our t-shirts, they see us out and about, and they say, "Well, what
For
does
sure.
Lifestyle After 5 mean?" And typically, I go into the spiel, which it does. When you think of Lifestyle After 5 is basically, what do you do? That's your time to sit down, reflect, ask yourself questions, socialize, and get your mind off of the regular 9 to 5. Usually your mind is busy. You're at work, you're babysitting, you're going out through your mundane activities. And it doesn't necessarily have to be after 5. I mean, some people work graveyard shift or whatever, but after 5 is that time that you sit back, you relax, and you strategize. And I just don't think enough people are doing that. So, in today's episode, this is what we want to talk to you about: 5 powerful questions that can transform your mind. We say after work, but after 5, what are you doing to shift your life, whether it's getting another job, whether it's a bad relationship, or just breaking the cycle of generational curses? Do you take that time after 5? And a lot of times, socialize. It doesn't necessarily have to be drinking and partying, although sometimes you need that. It does. It can
Yeah,
be over
if
a cup of
it's
coffee. Your life after 5 could be sitting down reading that book, taking
yeah,
that course. But it's about improving yourself. And so this is what Lifestyle After 5 mean. When you see these shirts or you see the logo Lifestyle, every time you see this logo, I want you to think, when I see Lifestyle After 5, what am I doing to improve my life? Life improvement, the circle of
yeah,
life. This is what Lifestyle After 5 stand for.
yeah. I can
So
attest to this. We live that life.
exactly.
Live that life every day.
So I asked everybody, what mindset are you bringing to your evening after work? Are you
Mhm.
bringing your day home with you and all the stresses of the day home? Are you just going totally brain dead after work? I know some people. Hell, I know this one
Right.
guy. He couldn't even make it past the first convenience store without pulling over, getting a can of beer and drinking. That's how bad it was for him.
Like
You
I
know,
need it now, bro.
he got to have it now. He couldn't even get on, which I don't advise that, by the way.
Nah, that's not part of lifestyle at the five.
But no, I asked everybody that's listening to this, and however you are listening to this, whether you're listening to us on WDJY 99.1 FM, or if you listen to us on Spotify at Lifestyle After 5, or if you're catching us at YouTube at Lifestyle After 5, first of all, like and subscribe. If you like this content that we bring to you every week, and our website, www.aliafter5.com, where you got access to everything we do and all our platforms there. So like, subscribe, but leave us some comments and think about that.
Yes,
How are you living your lifestyle after 5? Are you happy? If you're successful, then I take it that you're doing the right things. If you are not so happy with your life and you just live for the 9 to 5, ask yourself, what can I do to change that? What needs to happen to make my after 5, which in turn will make your whole life more meaningful in your life. Because a lot of people are dying and tomorrow's not promised to you.
exactly. You gotta take that
And
serious every moment.
and you know, you got to save yourself. You've got to do the work. Can't nobody do the hard work for you. Only you can change your life. Not the boyfriend, not the girlfriend, not the wife, not the husband, the children. Only you are responsible for your life, and ultimately, you have the responsibility of making your life better or worse.
Right? Yeah, the same way. The way you came in is the same way you're going out. So
So,
that should teach you the ultimate lesson of focus right there.
so one thing that I realized was Am I asking the right questions of myself? We all ask, well, what? I don't know why it is. The first thing you do when I find myself, something bad happens in my life, no matter what it is, your money low, your tire flat, your car won't start. Everybody asks the question, why?
Yep.
Every time something bad, why? Why me? Why me, Lord? Why this happen to me? And it's just why? And we go into this endless loop of whys that I've never gotten an answer. Have you ever gotten an answer? I mean, the heavens have never opened the door and said, Ali, the reason this happened to you is because of this, and that. I've never gotten that answer. But the answer got to come from within me
Yeah.
and to figure this out. So one of the questions that I would ask is when I get off work, because sometimes you always look at the negative. We hardly ever look at the positive of anything that we do. I can ask you, how's your day going? And you'll tell me short. Oh, it's all right. It's going good. But one thing I
Right.
had to break myself for, what's up? Nothing much.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now I tell you something bad, and you'll give me a whole paragraph. Man, what's going wrong? Is everything God? Man, my car wouldn't start this morning. My big toe hurt. This job getting on my nerves. These people stressing
Right.
me out, man. I don't know what to do. Bills going all off. Why is it we talk more about what we don't want and what's happening in our lives than the positive things? So
So
one of the
far.
questions that I would ask would be to reflect on your day. Let's look at what's going on. And I think this is what the Bible talked about when it said count your blessings.
Yeah.
Count your blessings.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Because you got to be able to see positive and you got to be able to see what you're doing right to contrast them against
Exactly.
what's going wrong. So one thing that I would ask is every day, what's one thing that I accomplished that I'm proud of today? You know, it could be I got to work on time today.
Yeah.
Right? That could be a
That might
struggle
be
for some
enough.
people. That may be enough. That's one thing you did right.
Yeah, for real.
Log that. I walked around the block. I've been trying to lose weight. I did one thing positive towards my goal. And if you can't think of nothing, then that needs to go. You need some pen and paper and you need to write that down as to a goal for the next day. What would be the one thing that I am going to do to uplift my life tomorrow for the positive? You know,
Yeah.
what did I learn from today's challenges? Because every day gonna have this challenge. You may learn, hey, mm, I thought so and so was talking about me, but really they wasn't. I got that wrong. So I learned not to jump to conclusions. I
Right.
almost jumped to the wrong conclusion. I was getting mad, ready to go cuss somebody out, and then I calmed down and rethought about it. It's not worth it. Especially during it's starting to heat up with the political climate and everything that's going
Exactly.
around there, and people arguing about the different candidates, and mine is better and the other one did this. You're still gonna be punching that clock after election day if you don't change your life.
Right.
I mean, do you think billionaires sit around there and argue about who gonna be president and who's not, and
Nah,
argue?
they're just giving money to their campaign.
Have you ever seen a Bentley or a Rolls Royce with a campaign sticker on the back of it?
Nah,
I mean,
man.
seriously.
Hey,
Why?
that's a good way to put it into a visual because,
Yeah,
like you
I-
said,
I've never,
it's
I've
not
never
every day.
seen it. And if anybody have seen any luxury car with campaign stickers on the back of it, take
Exactly.
a picture and send it to
Send
us.
it to
Email it
us.
to us. We
Matter
want,
of
we want to
fact,
see that.
go into our Discord, that little QR code in the corner above Ali. Go to that and send it in there so we can
Yeah,
all
send
laugh
it
at it.
so we can have a conversation over it.
Yup,
No, we need to have conversation on how we can improve our lives. And then once we improve our lives, then we can affect change in the other way.
for sure.
I mean, but those are the first things, and that's how you grow, even in a small way. If you can't run around the block, start off with running down the street. Eventually, you're going to get around the block, and that's the way it happens in life. If you consistently put in the work and the effort, and again, looking at what was the most fulfilling part of your day, because You can't give anything to anybody if you ain't got nothing. So
Like,
you got
start
to
with
start
you.
with these. You got to start with these
Hmm.
uplifting questions to uplift yourself. You know, not and then we got to look at reframing questions. You
Hmm.
know, not why my car didn't start because it's not the devil's not that you know if you got a car at some point that battery is in
It's gonna
two,
have an
3, 4, 5 years
issue.
that battery is going to go dead at some point. It just happened
You
to
don't
be that.
gotta be a psychic. Seriously.
You know, it happened to me. My thing is okay. Thank God I left in enough time
Hmm.
to to be able to get a jump off, or just being thankful that hey, I thank goodness that I was able to get a jump to get to work,
Yeah, for real.
or I have the money to go and get another battery because some people they can't afford to go get another car battery. So even in your
Yeah.
bad, that's a win right there. That you can even afford to go get another battery and get it put on and get your car going, or some stranger took the time to help you get home so that you're not stuck or stranded. But
Yep.
these are the things that, or if you didn't, let's just say things did go bad, you can't afford to buy a battery, or you didn't make it to work on time. The question asked is, how do I be better prepared next time when this situation happens? That is that is the question you want to ask yourself. How can I do better for the next go round? Because it's going to happen again, and how do I not repeat this cycle?
Exactly. And then as you creating this perspective, all of this should turn into basically a new structure for you. Your questions should become a part of the routine. Like, if you're gonna go into each day, pretty much thinking about what's fulfilling and the things that made up your day, the small wins, then you're able to start framing, like Ali previously said, you start framing the entire day from that.
Mhm.
Not only just uh, particular moments for opportunity, but then you can start to just reframe everything. So I'm glad we talking about this because this is something that I'm actually learning about. I've been taking a lot of classes lately, and for all my sales people out there, salespersons, y'all know about framing, like pretty much imagining what the customer is saying and stuff like that. So pretty much that's almost what you end up doing is for yourself though. So let's just pretend you the customer. So you frame it to yourself and you already know what
Yeah,
you're
for the
thinking, so you
customer
don't
was
really have to
coming.
think
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah. So this is key. This is something that you can actually apply. You might not be a salesperson yourself, but think about, okay, if I want to make the perfect life for myself, how can I do that? What are some of the things I can do? So obviously, some easy places to start is, like I said, systems. So routine is a system that controls pretty much like how your day flows. So if you got a good routine, I say like an evening routine, you pretty much will set up your entire day. You're framing the night routine frames the next day. So that's just think about how you can frame in specific situations like that to where it can really make a huge difference in, okay, well, I'm waking up tomorrow prepared, knowledgeable, I know what I'm doing. So it's not like, oh, I got to guess. So you're not wasting time, you're being productive. All of these questions is all from just asking simple questions to yourself. You pretty much can set up whole weeks and months of just stuff just ahead of time, and then you actually able to focus, be more present, and start taking more actionable steps. You're not really doing things off of a whim. Everything is planned, put in its proper place. So I just think more people asking questions actually is a form of futurism, which I think we've had Richard on the show once talking about just futurism 101. And basically, this is like some of the key things that futurists do. They're basically creating like forecasts, like with the weather. It's about to
Mhm.
rain. So, what are all these different factors that equate that it's going to rain? You can do the same thing with your life. Well, what does it equate for me to become a millionaire? what 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 missing gaps are there?
And how do I close them
So
in?
exactly. Like it's really this concept is where a lot of people mess up in learning because most people think that if you just memorize everything, that's how you gonna learn. Like, no. First, you have to understand the structure.
Well, I'm glad you
Ask the
brought that up.
questions.
I'm glad you brought that up because you definitely have to plan and write down your day. I've discovered that even though I know what I'm supposed to do, if I don't
Mhm.
have the playbook there and have it written down at this
Oh,
time, I need
bro,
to be doing this and that. I am not good at freestyling it.
bro,
I
no.
will procrastinate.
Listen, y'all.
I will do, you know, I got to put
That's the
I
key
got to do this. And
for
you
real.
got to maintain a plan and a structure. That's why I tell you to write your goals down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like we know it. I know we know it. We know it off the.
Hmm.
Like it's in the back of your mind, pretty much. That's like a part of you. But I don't know what it is, bro. It's like maybe something that they taught us when we was in elementary school, but like having that shit in front of me,
Journal,
it
the
just made
power
a
of the
difference.
pen.
Yes, bro. It just makes a difference. I can't, man. If I honestly, you'd be like, man, how you do all this shit, bro? I literally have my shit wrote down like a playbook
Well,
every day.
me with Chat GPT, I like to put everything in AI and just tell AI, this is what I got to do today, and this is a time frame.
Mhm.
Plan it out for me in a way that
See,
makes sense.
bro. So I'm glad you're talking about this too, bro. Because I think because we got AI and that's what we're using it for productivity. That's what we're all about. So if you ever watch anything we do on YouTube and if you're listening to our show for like maybe the first couple times, this is what we do. Like we get down into the nitty gritty. We're avid like learners because we're trying to be avid teachers. You know, it's a lot of information and hard to explain, but we get to the nitty gritty of this stuff and we really look into it deep. I mean, we go to the experts and talk to them. You know, we bring
Yeah.
them on to the show. So y'all watch what we doing because we take it serious how bad we want to educate people and give them like alternatives though. Because you know, Harvard business is good. Don't get me wrong, but there's always other perspectives that you can take to continue your learning. So
And
yeah, we
having
don't mess
mentors
around.
and people, talking to the people that's doing it is definitely the
That's
best
huge.
way to learn that keeps you from making the same mistakes.
Exactly. We done did the groundwork for that reason. But also, so getting to the point with AI too, man. When you're using that, and like I said, we're about productivity. So whenever you are doing something, right, AI should be there to help you understand the system of what you're doing. Like there, you shouldn't be missing anything. It should help you fill all your knowledge gaps. And the more that you know, like how to operate in the basic world, not even like tech and science, but like starting a fire, knowing how to forage and build stuff like that. But
In the future, Elon says it's going to be those that know AI and it's something to the effect of those that wish they had a new AI or something.
yeah,
Those on the
well, yeah,
sidelines. So
like
you kind of
what did you say this was, Ali? This like the new internet boom.
well, it is.
Yeah,
This is the reframing and futurism, everything. This is kind of
hmm
like the mid 1990s when the internet took off. Everybody feared that the internet was going to take their jobs, and it did. It put some businesses and certain jobs, it did away with them. However, it created a lot of new industries, especially for black people. A lot of black people were able to make six-figure salaries due to the shift in
yeah,
technology that they otherwise wouldn't. Example, we had Blockbuster. Technology took Blockbuster out. We now stream. Welcome to Netflix, something you
yeah,
all can't keep your eyes off of. Now, everybody fit. You didn't see net in the 1990s. You didn't see Netflix. You didn't see Hulu. You didn't see YouTube.
hmm
This learning platform that's bringing knowledge from all over the world. Uh, you didn't see electric cars and cell phones that you can look up anything and do banking and stuff with.
right,
You didn't see that in 1990. All you saw and heard was losing your job. It's the
yeah.
internet's gonna take your job and everything. But look at the businesses,
It's
the
creating
jobs
more
that's
jobs.
created. Creating more jobs. You know what I mean? These
Yeah,
software developers out there now, website developers and designers. Cisco system certified network administrators, and so on and so
Exactly.
on, and business and working from home wouldn't have been
Pretty much.
possible. So as you think about and reframe your question, and as AI comes over and start to do away with certain jobs in certain industries, think about it. Let's reframe the question and let's look at what AI is going to bring and how can you be on the receiving end of it. What skills and stuff do you need to ride with the wave and to go get that big job with AI? Because
Yeah.
like I said, the best it's not here yet. The future of all of what AI is going to do and things it's going to create is going to blow your mind, and just like it did in the 90s. I mean, if you had said told me that, matter of fact, I'm gonna give my age away a little bit. So when I was I was going to school in the late 90s, and we had a home course. A home, well, it was somewhat online learning course there then was I would go to the library once, meet my professor at the library once or twice a week, the class would. And our professor would have like an hour or two class in the
Yeah.
library. And then then the professor had videotapes, VHS tapes with the VCR that they would give us. And then you would go home, watch these videotapes of them teaching and learning throughout the week or throughout the next 2 weeks until you meet them again. And you did your homework. You had a book and you did your homework off of that, and then you showed up on that Sunday, turned in your homework, and discussed what you learned about the tape. And if you had any questions or whatever, I think we had email. You could talk to them on that Sunday, or you could call them.
Yeah.
You call them and during these business hours, and then they would talk you through whatever difficulties you have. But then everything else you would learn from the VHS tape. That was considered online learning then.
Yeah. Yeah. The tapes actually was they was all right, but I mean, honestly, the fastest way to really learn stuff is like doing like a trade where it's hands on. So the more hands on you are with stuff as you learning, asking yourself these questions and getting better at what you're doing.
But
Just always remember, be
let's
hands
make it
on.
more real and reframing. Let's
Yeah.
give them like some real life examples. Like,
Hmm.
why am I not making enough money to pay my bills? Why am I short every week? What question would you come up with that? I can think of the first question that would come to my mind is, if I'm short, why am I short? Well,
Like how would you reframe that?
yeah. How would I dig into that? Because see, the thing is, we don't get to the root cause of anything anymore. You know,
Well, yeah,
there's a whole industry called Lean Six Sigma where people get paid a lot of money to go in these businesses and get down to the root cause of what's causing their problem. It's
yep,
like, I mean, you talked before when you get into Lean and into Six Sigma. Let's just say somebody's walking and they slip on the floor. They're at work and there's a puddle of water on the floor and they slip down and fall. Well, the typical mind would say, well, that person is hurt. So now you got an injury. So you ask yourself, why is that person hurt? Well, they slipped on that puddle of water. But let's take it back a different, let's go back a deeper layer into this. Why was the puddle of water there to begin with? Well, because no one cleaned it up. Well, no
hmm,
mops. People walk by. Well, why did people walk by it and didn't pick it up? Well, nobody paid attention. So that means it's not on nobody's mind that this is dangerous. That mops need to be there. Need to be a sign. So
yeah,
we know that we need a sign. So that's a problem there. So you go into like, okay, we need signs and we need to have briefings telling everybody, if you see a puddle of water, pick it up. But they still don't answer the question as to why was the water there. Well, the water came. Where did it come from? Well, the
yeah,
water came
exactly.
from a machine that was leaking, a hose that was leaking. Well, why was that hose leaking? Well, the hose was leaking because it hadn't been checked in a while, and it's been leaking off and on. It hadn't been checked. Well, why hadn't it been checked? Well, we don't have a schedule. Didn't nobody know to check? Well, we need to create a schedule. The check this monthly. Operators need to check daily to make sure that their equipment is working right and there's no leaks.
Exactly.
So when you boil this down and you keep going back into the layers, you realize that this person accident and slip and fall could have been prevented by simply putting signs and people doing daily checks on their equipment is what they go back to. So it wasn't just a slip and fall that happened. This was a whole series of events for people not being aware of puddle waters, acting quickly to put it to mop it up, put signs down all the way down to servicing and maintaining your equipment and making sure that it is up to date. This is the way problems in our lives are. We
Yep.
see that problem in our relationships or in our daily life. Well, I'm not making enough money because I'm not getting paid enough. Well, there are other people that are getting paid about and they're doing pretty well. So could it be when you ask yourself, why am I not getting paid enough? Well, because I spent money. I went out to the club and I drunk I bought some drinks, whatever. I thought I was gonna have some more money, but this happened. So you got a priority issue.
Yep.
Then you look at well, my priorities are messed up. So this is what we get in when we talking about asking these questions. We're going deep into your life.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I got a priority issue. But why do I have a priority issue? Well, because I'm hanging with my friends and they like to stun out and they spend money that they don't have. And then I got this significant other girlfriend or boyfriend that, like to go out and do this and that. And so then you realize, well, I might need to change my friends if they can't accept me. I can't afford to hang
Yeah.
out with a friend or this be in this relationship. This ain't the relationship for me because this was costing me to spend money I don't have. I can't afford to go buy expensive purses, shoes, or whatnot, uh, and take this person to fancy dinners and restaurants and everything. It's draining me, and so I need to come up with somebody that's got their priorities. I need to hang around people that's got better priorities. So you see how it goes back to the company you keep, to the person you with, how
Yep.
you manage your money, and then you ask yourself, why am I not making enough money? Well, I ain't got the skills for the next level. Well, what are the skills for the next level? And how do I go get the skills for the next level? I need to go find either increase my skills, going back to school, taking a free online class, or getting into Coursera, or LinkedIn Learning, or getting with some mentors, or whatever have you, doing what you need to do to increase your skills to go get the job you like, you want, or create your own business, figuring that out.
Yep. At the end of the day, that's really what makes up most of the relationships that you do have. And also, yeah, just how all of that is just from one person can reframe how they think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you sit here and you're like, well, I just went through all these different scenarios. And it's really just things that you can avoid, but also you can really almost prevent them from happening if you properly reframe. I mean,
Exactly.
if you are reframing your entire day to, because like Ali mentioned, for example, with the people, you around people who just stunting all day, like you surrounded by people who don't have focus, and that's really what is the base of all
Mhm.
everything. If you can't focus on what it is that you need to do, then you're pretty much always going to be distracted by anything, really, whatever. A TV channel could distract you from spending money the right way. I mean, seriously, people can get tricked to go to a casino from a commercial and
Yeah.
be spending money
Even your
there.
music. Your music has a big influence on you.
Yeah, if you
But
listen to songs telling you to blow money, but you don't live these people's lives, you can't be out here.
you don't have this money, the money that they have. It's just like what was that Beyonce had a song, to the left, to the left.
Yeah,
And I remember listening to the song on the radio one day, and the DJ was like, don't lose y'all, man, listening to Beyonce. You don't have Beyonce money
Beyonce
and
money. Yeah.
resources. You better stick to what you got. You not Beyonce. She can
Now,
do that.
if you do, are you if you're up there, if you making money like $1 billion and you watching our show though, hey, what's up though?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's mastermind because hey, ain't no shame in my game. The biggest thing with reframing is relationships. I mean, when you're doing everything right, the only thing you can't control is what other people are doing. You feel me? You controlling what you're supposed to be controlling, which is what you can control. So reframing is so you when you meet other people in relationships, you on point. Nobody can knock you. You know who you are. Everything's solid. So you meet these randoms out here, and you'll know if somebody following the same code you want, because you can just walk up and be like,
Well, I
"Oh,
think you'll draw the right people to you once you get your
exactly,
mind reframed.
magnetism for
The
sure."
magnetism. I mean,
Hmm.
once you get the right polarization and the right frequency, you're gonna get the right people that you need in there to help
See,
you.
it gets in a way it gets much better because now you just have it's like 20 of you show up, and you're like, "Oh man, what can I do with all these me's?"
You can you
So
multiply. I mean, so yeah, reframing is good.
yeah,
And these questions are powerful because you cannot manifest anything in chaos, and you cannot keep doing illogical things expecting logical results. It don't work that way.
yeah.
And I see a lot of people they ask themselves questions, I think, but they ask themselves illogical questions and expect and surprise when they get illogical results.
I mean, humans also need prompt engineering.
What that's a good term. You need to prompt engineer your brain
Yeah.
to get the right
Nah,
prompt.
I mean, they say a brain is the most powerful computer. They're making brains to power computers right now. I don't know how. Like I said, this is kind of like a futurism channel in a way. We do talk about a lot of stuff like that, but they are doing that. They're building robots with human brains and
Oh yeah, I read about
brains
this
they
one
made.
that's gonna be able to reason and everything for you.
Yeah. Well, that's so they have computer chips already doing that. They have brains in them, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all, what we're talking about, we're not just saying this. It matters because this, like, the future is coming, and if right now, since you listening to this, you get a chance to reframe how that looks like. So this episode is key to that. We're trying to help you reframe the future, where we can all do it together. So it's not like, oh damn, I wonder if it's gonna be like when Rich was talking about the Left Behind books. The movies were creepy, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to
You don't
be
want to be left behind when the rapture happens. So we treating the Renaissance like the rapture. Matter of fact, the Renaissance is the rapture. You
like
don't
I
want to
said.
be left behind.
This is like what the Bible say with what we're doing and reframing the question. This is like renewing your mind, being born again.
Hmm? Oh, I was getting spiritual today.
Well, you always got to drop a little context for the different
You
people
feel me?
out there,
Exactly. It's getting spiritual
and let
now.
them know they got to renew their minds because you hear all this stuff. It's full of negativity. The world right now is full of negativity when it's so much positive energy out there and
Man,
ways to improve yourself.
yeah. That's where it starts. Y'all got to realize that's where it starts. If everybody was working on improving themselves, it wouldn't be no problem.
Well, you wouldn't be in nobody else's business.
Exactly. That's where the problems is. Everybody be in other people's shit, man. Oh, you heard about so and so up the street? They got a new dog. Who cares, bro? What are you doing?
Exactly. What can you do to make it better?
You
What can you
what?
do to help out?
Are you asking the right questions, Ali?
Are you asking the right questions? How can I improve this situation? Is
Yeah,
always the
man.
right question. Not what sister so how is sister doing and what's she doing? Well, how can I help her? Is she willing to
Yep.
accept my help?
Yeah.
What help do I need? Who do I need to seek out? Am I in
If
the
you start
right
with you,
circle?
you start with you, man. You'll know exactly who.
Now, granted, some people are not going to want to accept your knowledge. You know, it's like, have you ever sat there and you laid out the facts, you done research to a person and you look them in the eyes? I mean, you spend time, 30, 40 minutes, and you explaining your logic to a person as to this or that. You know, this is my logic, this is the rationale, these are the sources that I'm quoting. And when you get done, they just staring and they're looking into your eyes and they're just staring. And they just look and they
They're
say,
giving you the
"Yeah,
deer in the headlights.
yeah, I know, but I don't know." And I'd be like, you do know. I just told you. You're not going to get by with not knowing. You're not, from this day forward, you're not going to be ignorant. I just taught you how to fish.
Exactly.
You can no longer tell me you don't know. That excuse is not going to apply. But you got people that want to voluntary be ignorant. Voluntary ignorance is what I call it.
Yeah. It just reminds me of like Boondocks, man. You know how they kind of like was the new Simpsons. They was telling the future, like Nostradamus type cartoons. Yeah.
Hmm.
Pretty soon, don't be surprised if you see Lifestyle After 5. We start doing sketch comedy. We start doing Nostradamus comedy. Like, oh shit, they must know something we don't know,
It's, I mean, some of the stuff you can almost predict
man.
right away. That's another thing. Let's get in that I want to get into. Judging a person versus telling a person the truth and them not
Yeah.
accepting accountability. If people say, well, you can't judge me, you don't know what's going to go on in my life. And the humans are complex beings. We are complex beings. We are, so we can literally change our lives overnight. You know, you can be an alcoholic one day, and literally you can go home one day and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not doing this, and I'm not going to take another drink, throw the liquor out of the house, and from that day forward, not take another drink ever again. That can happen. It is possible. It doesn't happen often that it happens that way where you just go cold turkey like a drug addict, cold turkey.
Yeah.
Very few. And for those that have went through that and been cold turkey, I want to applaud you because that
That's hard work.
that's hard work. That's
Yeah.
dedication. Now, that's focus. If you can do that, there ain't nothing you cannot do. You can do anything on your
Exactly.
rock.
You pretty
But
much able,
for
fully able.
the most of us, it's like patterns. And I tell people, well, why would you think something about me? Because of your behavior, your character, and your patterns. You know, if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, what number is in between 4 and 6? Most people would agree it would be 5. Very few of us that have got any type of education though would say 7, 8, 9, or 10, anything. Why would you say that? Because of the pattern. It goes together. So if you have a pattern of stealing, borrowing money and not paying back, which is stealing.
Would you still in?
Uh,
Exactly.
well, it is. It is stealing, manipulating people
Yeah.
in and out of jail for this and that,
Hella crimes.
hella crimes or whatever, and something come up missing, and you
Yeah.
around. What
What
do
you
you do?
think? What you think?
Who you think is the most likely candidate that everybody gonna look at? And it's not that I'm just judging. It's
Don't
your
be
pattern.
triggered.
So,
Yeah.
more
Don't
likely
be
than not,
triggered.
yeah, more likely than not, you are the one that stole it, or you come trying to borrow money, or you want something, knowing your track record. I have a brain, and my brain, human brain, works in patterns, and based on your pattern, it tells me you're not a good candidate to get the loan money. My chances of getting that money back is slim to none. But and that's well, you shouldn't judge me. You don't know what? Yes, I can. When it comes to my resources, and that's the thing, you can do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't affect other people. People forget that point. Hell, even the bank is going to judge you. When you go in there, you ain't gonna tell the bank, you know what? I just need $500, $600. I just need the money. Y'all gonna loan it to me, loan it to me. I don't really
Oh
need to tell you how
nah.
my business. Yeah or not. I ain't gonna go into my business. Just give me the money because I need it. The you
Yeah.
100% of the time it's gonna be the and not. You gonna tell them you're so scared now they're gonna run your credit and they're gonna get into your business.
Yep. You be like, oh, you
But
not serious.
no, but people seriously think that way.
Y'all wildin' if you do.
A lot of people.
If you think like that, please come on the show. We want to pick your brain.
Yeah, I want to see how your logic work. But no, this is
Yeah.
why asking these questions and listening to shows like this is needed. If you talk to your friends and family, you got that delusional person
Exactly.
in your family or friend or whatever. These are conversations that need to be had.
Yeah.
In the
If you
circle.
really love them.
Lying to them is not helping them.
Yeah, that's just making look. If we talking about reframing, lying is bad, y'all. What is that gonna fix? They be still saying, "Oh, little white lies that is to make them feel better." Like, no, just be real with them. Now, if
Yep.
it's just some subjective stuff, obviously, like something like, "Oh, you ugly." I mean, they might be ugly to you, but they might not be ugly to somebody else. But if it's something that's just straight up backed by facts, then yeah.
Now, let's get to the tricky part. Now, that's when you are alone, but relationships and connections.
Oh boy,
There's a lot of delusion and finger pointing goes on there.
yeah,
I think it was Naru Muhammad, especially when you talk about marriages and everything else. Naru Muhammad says your spouse can be your better half or make you half the person you should have been. And that's deep. That's a question you have to ask with the person that you are with and or
yeah,
that you choose to date. Why is this person good for me? Do they make me happy? And what can we accomplish together? What is our purpose? What is our blended purpose together? That this is not just more than just I love him or her. What is the purpose? How can you be more present with each other? And then y'all have to have goals set together and prepare. I don't know why people think you can get in a relationship or a marriage and then just stop. Well, I'm married there. I had no more work to be done right then and there. We married now, so I'm gonna go my way and do my thing, and they do their thing, and you expect that to work. A house divided cannot stand.
nope,
And the biggest things that they say most couples break up on is finances and communication.
yeah, I can see that. But so we talked about framing, right?
Hmm.
Framing again is where you take something and you flip it, you reverse engineer it. So in an example, basically you would reframe by saying, "Hey, um, how can I get my priorities right so I know what to focus on?" So when you're in a relationship, honestly, to me, the first thing you should prioritize for you to focus on in a relationship, well, first is what were you prioritizing before that person? Because y'all, if it's a real relationship, both of y'all should be able to do essentially the same thing. And then also, if let's say for example you were focusing on your mission, whatever that might
Hmm.
be, both of y'all should either be focused on y'all own individual missions, or if one of y'all don't have a mission, then that person needs to be focusing on that person's vision. See, when you have a community aspect involved in a relationship, you can get more done because you got more brains, more hands, you know what I'm saying? More people to research. And if it's a real relationship, that means y'all will be doing that for everything. So y'all would be reframing everything individually and together. So companies can work like this too, but we just talking about relationships with two people because it starts at home first before you even get to the walk into any company. If you can have your home life on point and everybody know their role, when you go into the business, man, you're gonna be cold. That's where a lot of people be messing up at because they don't even have their homes on lock before they even go to work. So that same shit drag into their job, and then you got people doing subpar work. So or you doing
Well,
subpar work for yourself.
but then again, it goes to do is this relationship logical and do it make sense for you?
Exactly. If it's a real relationship, you'll know because you won't have no problem setting up the system in the crib ever.
Now I'm gonna throw a curveball. It is 2024, and this is
Yeah.
futurism.
hmm
So now you will find that there are relationships that consist of more than just two people.
hmm
There are some relationships that consist of three and sometimes four people.
Like whole tribes of people. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Hold up. Well, when you get into poly relationships, so you got
Mhm.
some people that they're conflicted and they're
No,
having
don't be conflicted.
well, tell me what you do. You got a lot of people, and these are real live questions that I've and
True.
scenarios that I've heard
Yeah,
and
yeah.
ran into these relationships and how they should handle them.
Scary, scary work right there. Because one, you would never have to ask that question for sure. You would never have to ask that question if the person you got into a relationship is like it's a real relationship. That means you walk when you got with them. Now remember, we talking about reframing. So when you came into this, you was already reframed up. That means you was already walking in your purpose. You was focused on your mission, and you decided I'm gonna add another person to this shit. So if you got this other person, more than likely that other person knows their role because when you approach them with the
But
system.
but this is so you got the person, and I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the person that had added the other person to their relationship, I can see how it makes sense for them. But let's look at you, the third person that's coming into that.
Mhm.
What would you have to say if you that third person is joining into it?
Man, that's the fun part because now at this point, okay, so the reason why a lot of stuff gets shut down in like foreign countries is because of stuff like this, man. So when you have a system and you approach with the system, and like I said, if you're in a relationship with somebody using reframing, that
Mhm,
means you came into them with the system, and now they already know the system. So both of y'all operating on the same system. Now it might be on an individual basis, or like I said, one person is didn't have their own, so they got on board with what the person came with. Now,
mhm,
when you got a new person coming in, that's how you start building like communities. So this is another thing I actually been learning about on the side. So this really a gym episode. So when you building communities,
mhm,
that's how you do it. So what you do is you have your first person that you teaching the system to, right? And that first person, all right, let's talk about it from a sales point of view. And like I said, this is for my salespeople. So when you going into a sale, right? And you know that you're supposed to get a certain quota or whatever, and you got this many customers you got to get. The first thing that you're going into is I need to get these customers to get sales for me so I don't have to do as much work. So you teaching them everything about the product, how they can use the product and everything like that. So that's why governments don't really like when people start getting together and they all start following systems because then you get stuff like Black Panthers, which had a system that everybody followed, and one person came with that set and was like, okay, now this is what we adopted. You got to adopt this.
but you're getting a lot of particularly women. You look at like Atlanta where they say it's what 30 to 1. Yeah, but you got some women that are sharing into that system.
Yeah, no, for
And
real, they're winning. Like, okay, fam, look, we already then got to this point now. I think we about to wrap up
yeah,
the show, so I'm gonna shut
yeah,
up. But
our time is getting near. But yeah, leave us some comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, you can join us every Wednesday here on WDJY 99.1, as well as Spotify, Lifestyle After 5, and on YouTube, Lifestyle After 5. And that's the number 5, IVE. Leave us some comments. What can we bring to y'all next? What do y'all
yeah, for
want to hear
real.
from us? Y'all be safe out there.